Hey everyone, I'm Marc Bates, Metabolic Health Coach, and a question I've been getting, and there are a couple of variations on this question. One, I've been getting from some of my uh, listeners or viewers, and they're asking, do you have an AI that you can let us have access to that would get us some of this information? That's a great question. And the answer currently is no, because I've got proprietary information in mind that I can't release right now. Okay. Two, I get questions from other content creators. How do I do everything that I'm doing? Right. And I use AI to make that more efficient. So this is an effort to try and tell them more about that. If you are a content creator and you want to know how I'm doing and how you might be able to use some of these tools, I'm more than happy to talk to you. So just contact me. And three, there's a group of trolls who keep asking, "Is this AI?" As if other content creators aren't using AI, and that AI means I'm cheating and that I don't know what I'm talking about. Um, and you can't use AI efficiently and effectively if you don't know what you're talking about and you don't know how to work within the AI environment. So this is an effort to try and answer all those questions. So let's talk a little bit about AI powered content creation. So as a content creator, let me tell you a little bit about what I do every day. I produce 3 videos every day. That means I have to write a script to create the background. I have to create a script. Then I have to create the background visuals because for 35 years I've done corporate presentations with PowerPoint, and it's just comfortable for me. Okay, what can I say? Uh, and then I need to record the video, post it to my various channels, and verify the SEO settings, which is a very manual task, right? But for some of this, I certainly use AI. I use AI to help me with the script creation and with the background visuals because uh, it takes a long time to do this stuff in PowerPoint, and I'm just looking for just some background information to make sure that I stay on content. Okay? So, we're talking about AI though. I have my own AI engine. Technically, it currently is an AI bot because it attaches to one of the commercially available AI engines to use because I'm not about to try and write the entire large language format rules and stuff that these guys have done. They've done a great job with that, right? And I get access for $40 a month. Why would I want to try and write that? No, but basically what I do is I take my data engine and I attach it to them and tell them how to utilize it. Okay, so what I've done is within my AI engine, I've programmed with it in it my rules for correlation segmentation of data, and this plays a crucial role in my work. So it helps me produce the script because it's correlating the data I'm asking it to provide for a select script, and it presents it in the format I want it to, right? And then I use the AI to create the PowerPoint type backgrounds in an AI presentation builder. And this is significantly faster than doing it manually. The AI engine also helps me with video production because a lot of the videos I produce, I just use an AI engine to help spit them out when it comes to especially like the shorts and stuff. But the idea here is to be more efficient with my time. So just think about it. I do 3 full videos every day. I do, on average, 12 to 15 shorts that come from those 3 videos. I have to do the scripts, I have to do the editing, I have to do the SEO on this. I mean, this in itself would take up a whole day for most people. Okay? So that's a good reason for using AI. Now, as part of being an influencer, I currently have approximately 100 comments, questions, and other posts over various social media platforms to respond to. Now, some of them ask, basic questions. No problem. Just here you go. But a lot of them, because they know that I will answer them this way, will ask relatively technical questions. And in that case, I want to answer as thoroughly and accurately as possible. I also want to make sure that my responses follow a set format to ensure they are presented consistently, and that I don't make mistakes in what I'm presenting. Something that if I make a basic statement about something, it's in my engine because I programmed it that way, and so I don't make silly mistakes that some people do where I contradict myself on stuff. Okay, so yes, I use AI for this. Um, Also, as a content producer, I deliver multiple posts to various social media platforms. Again, besides just the videos, right? And the comments I answer. Excuse me. So, with the help of AI, I can ensure that these posts, especially the press releases announcing my new videos every day, present the right amount of information in a format that I can control and that presents the type of information I want. Right? So this helps me speed up the production of these posts, but I still have to review them, still have to make sure that they're correct before I post them. I just don't have to write them from scratch every day. And once again, if you figure I'm doing 3 videos a day, plus the 100 plus comments and questions I'm answering, plus the other posts where I'm talking about presenting ideas that I'm talking about, or press releases about my videos, well, all of a sudden, that's a lot of time there. That's a full-time job, and I don't have a staff, so I'm not going to work 20 hours a day on this. So, yeah, I use AI here. But what I want to do here really is delve into the true nature of AI, because people seem to think this is some magic box, and that anybody can plug in a question and get a fully detailed answer. And we'll show you an example why that just doesn't work. But let's make sure that people who are uninitiated, right, lay people, that you don't quite understand how AI works. If you're questioning, do I use AI to produce all this content? And does that mean that I'm cheating? Right? Okay? And I'm not. So, a little history. I have a 40-year history in IT software engineering and systems development. For approximately 20 years of those 40 years, I worked on systems specifically for the legal industry, building large databases of research information and dissemination. So, in a nutshell, what that means is we would take thousands, often hundreds of thousands of pages of evidence and testimony and stuff, digitize them, put them into a database, build rules to cross-correlate and find specific types of data, right, that the lawyers needed, and have computers, right, spit out the information so that they could easily put it into legal briefs. And in fact, in many cases, we would build the legal briefs for the most part via the computer systems, because the court system gives you format rules and rules of evidence that you need to present, and how you need to present it. And so that's just perfect for a computer. Here are the rules, put it out there, and then you review it, make sure it's what you want, and you change a few things, and bingo. Saves you, 80% of the time on this stuff. Okay? And so, yeah, I mean, lawyers and the legal system have been using AI. They've not called it AI for 20 plus years, but it is AI, right? It is the start of AI. Okay? So, the legal system has been doing this for a long time. So, in a nutshell, this was AI in its earliest form, and it's grown from that. Today, the new AI engines that I use and integrate my data app with are much more sophisticated. And so, for example, I don't have to build rules of logic and rhetoric into these AI apps now because the engines have it already built in there, right? And they also have good grammar rules, not perfect, but pretty good grammar rules. So they make sure that the grammar is correct. And they're getting better at just formulating this. The other thing that you can do with the new AI engines, and you'll see an example of this, is you build logic rules into how to apply the data, and that makes all the difference in the world, right? In why you want to use AI as a content creator. Okay. So, what I did was I built my own AI engine, or technically now it's an app. It used to be its own AI engine, but now I use it as an app going into a couple of the commercial AI engines out there. Because they did the large format work. I don't want to do that. Okay, and so I programmed my rules for correlation segmentation, right? It helps me produce the scripts. It helps me produce the PowerPoint backgrounds. It helps me produce the presentation builders. Uh, and this is just significantly faster than me doing it myself. So there's every reason for me to do AI because I don't have the time and money to hire a staff of 3, 4, 5 people to do this. I do it by myself, and I like it that way. All right. Uh, so what do I mean by what's the difference? Okay, so I took a basic question. What is a healthy human diet? I fed it into, in this case, Google's standard AI without any pre-formatting, without any explanations of logic rules, how to formulate this, what to look for, right? Nothing to format this other than here's the base. So if you're an uninitiated AI user, or you're one of these people who are trolls who are thinking AI means you're cheating, this is basically what they're thinking. You put a basic question into AI and it spits out these answers, and that's where you're getting your answers from. So here's what Google's AI said about what is a healthy human diet. That was the exact question I gave it. So it said, a healthy human diet includes a variety of nutrient-rich foods from all major food groups with an emphasis on fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, and lean protein sources. It also involves limiting intake of unhealthy fats, sodium, and added sugars, while maintaining appropriate portion sizes and staying hydrated. It sounds just like the normal crap that these dietitians feed you, right? So here's a more detailed breakdown. Key components of a healthy diet. Fruits and vegetables. Aim for at least 5 portions daily, including a variety of colors and shapes. Boy, that came right out of the government, didn't it? Whole grains. Choose whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, and whole wheat bread over refined grains. Listen, straight out of the government. Lean protein. Include options like poultry, fish, beans, lentils, nuts, and seeds. Wow. Purely out of the government again. Healthy fats. Opt for unsaturated fats found in foods like avocados, nuts, and olive oil. Okay? Dairy or dairy alternatives. Oh my God. Include low fat or fat free milk, yogurt, or fortified soy beverages. Fortified. You know how bad fortified soy beverages are for you? Okay. Limit saturated and trans fats. Saturated fats would be like eating beef. Sodium. Limit your sodium, by the way. Sodium is good for you. Added sugars and processed foods. And this is according to the National Institutes of Health and Harvard Nutrition. Right? Straight out of the government playbook. Let's continue. Tips for healthy eating. Variety. Consume a wide variety of foods of different food groups to ensure you're getting a range of nutrients. Portion control. Be mindful of portion sizes to avoid overeating. Plan ahead. Prepare meals and snacks in advance to make healthier choices easier. Mindful eating. Pay attention to your body's hunger and fullness. I should have broken this, sorry. Hydration. Drink plenty of fluids, especially water. And be active. Combine a healthy diet with regular physical activity for optimal health. Okay. Did you have to ask that question? I mean, this is the crap they've been feeding us, the government and dietitians and doctor pamphlets from the American Heart Association, all that for what, 40 plus years or longer, right? This is what AI feeds you if you don't know how to use it properly. It just feeds you this garbage, okay? Same exact question. I fed it into my app, right? Into my AI engine. What is a healthy human diet? A truly healthy human diet, as supported by evolutionary biology, modern clinical research, and therapeutic nutrition science. Right? There's a big difference here. I'm telling you what this is based on. It is one that aligns with our metabolic design as fat-adapted facultative carnivores. Evidence from anthropology, clinical trials, and metabolic studies point strongly toward a low-carbohydrate, nutrient-dense, animal-based diet. Right? As the optimal foundation for human health. Here's the structured overview based on the sources you provided, right? And so once again, it's telling you it's using my sources, not any crap that it pulls out of the off the internet. Evolutionary design. Humans as fat-seeking carnivores. Our ancestors evolved on a diet dominated by animal-sourced foods, with carbohydrates from seasonal fruits or tubers being occasional and non-essential. The human digestive tract shows trade-offs: reduced colon size, limiting fermentation of fibrous plants, and expanded small intestine and large brain, requiring nutrient-dense, easily digestible animal foods. Indigenous populations consuming high animal diets were largely free of modern diseases, obesity, diabetes, heart disease, until adopting processed grain-based diets. Okay, that's the start. Core principles of a healthy diet, healthy human diet. Carbohydrate restriction, therapeutic or baseline. Modern diets flooded with refined carbs drive chronic hyperinsulinemia and insulin resistance. See, that's something that Google AI just didn't tell you. The root cause of most chronic diseases, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, PCOS, and fatty liver and dementia, right? Carbohydrates are non-essential nutrients. Humans can thrive on zero dietary carbohydrates due to gluconeogenesis and ketone production. Didn't hear that from Google. B. Prioritization. Animal source foods. Animal foods are complete bioavailable nutrient sources. High quality protein with all essential amino acids and superior digestibility. They have a high DIAAS scores. Bioavailable macronutrients: B12, heme, iron, zinc, vitamin A, DHA, creatine, carnosine, often poorly supplied by plant foods. These are often poorly supplied, if they're supplied at all. B12 is not available in plant foods at all. Heme iron is not available in plant foods. You got a lot of good fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K2, available only or predominantly in animal foods. And you get saturated, monounsaturated fats, primarily human fuel for low insulin metabolism, right? Well, let's continue. Avoiding modern toxins and CETOs. The other one didn't even tell you what to avoid, right? Industrial PUFAs drive oxidative stress, inflammation, and mitochondrial damage. Refined sugars and fructose deplete hepatic ATP, disrupt energy signaling, and promote fat accumulation. Highly processed foods engineer hyperpalatability, which means they get you addicted, okay? Leading to overeating and metabolic dysfunction. What is a... Okay, so D, nutritional ketosis as a default metabolic state. The other side didn't even talk about metabolic state. In carbohydrate-restricted states, the body switches to fat and ketone metabolism, lowering insulin, reducing inflammation, and improving mitochondrial health. Ketosis is therapeutic for type 2 diabetics and metabolic syndrome, neurological disorders, including epilepsy, Alzheimer's, migraine, and mood disorders, cancer adjunct therapy, starving glycolytic tumors, right? There are a whole majority of cancer tumors need glucose, okay, to survive. And so nutritional ketosis really helps knock them out. Doesn't replace your doctor, doesn't replace cancer therapy. Work with your doctors on that. But always ask them about getting into a nutritional ketosis diet to help if you got a cancer diagnosis. Okay. Once again, I can't diagnose this. I can't say it cures cancer, but I can tell you that there are thousands of case studies that a nutritional ketosis as a diet has helped cancer patients. Okay. I'll just stop it at that. Weight regulation and hunger control. Well, why most people even think about a keto diet is for weight regulation and hunger control. Okay, we know all that. So let's talk about the practical framework for a healthy human diet. You need a base diet, be it carnivore or ketogenic. You need red meat, beef, lamb, and venison. Nutrient powerhouses, high bioavailable iron and B vitamins. Eggs, whole, includes choline, lutein, high leucine content for muscle synthesis. Seafood, iodine, selenium, DHA, EPA, which once again are almost completely absent from vegetable sources, from plant sources. So very essential. Organ meats contain, deliver heart for dense vitamins and minerals. Animal fats, tallow, butter, ghee for stable, clean burning energy. Optional context-dependent foods. Low toxin plant foods. You can optionally add these: avocados, olives, some berries, for variety or specific micronutrients if tolerated. and dairy, full fat and fermented, for calcium, K2, and protein, provided there's no intolerance to dairy, right? So just some options there. The other side said eat dairy, but make it low fat, right? Which is terrible. It really is. Low fat dairy is like drinking poison. Okay, my opinion. What is a healthy human diet? Once again, so here's an explanation. So what this diet avoids: grains, legumes, which contain anti-nutrients, poor protein quality, and high glycemic load; industrial seed oils, which contain a lot of omega-6 overload and lipid peroxidation; added sugars and high fructose products, driving fatty liver and insulin resistance; and highly processed foods designed for shelf life over health. You didn't see this in the Google response. And then a big key takeaway: a healthy human diet is one that keeps insulin low and stable, supplies complete bioavailable nutrients in proper amounts, especially high quality animal protein and fats, avoids modern toxins and evolutionary novel food processing, and returns us closer to our ancestral metabolic state dominated by fat and ketone utilization, where chronic diseases is a rarity. All right, so compare what Google presented with the same question: what is a healthy human diet, compared to what my engine produced. But remember, my engine is built specifically for me, built specifically to talk about my issues with my training, with my data, right? 20,000 plus documents collected over 10 years on low fat, ketogenic, and carnivore diets, right? Not just general crapola that can be found over the internet. And so, do I use AI? Oh, yeah. And if you feed into my engine a very specific question, right? What is this particular micronutrient used for? What is this test really used for? I've got all that data because I've got 20,000 plus documents and textbooks and all kinds of other stuff in there, right? I mean, I've taken 10 years worth of classes on this stuff. I've got all the textbooks digitized and put into my engine, so I've got it all. I give you some really detailed information, stuff you will just not get from Google if you try to give it the same thing, because you'll get it inundated with all that other garbola, right? So yes. Do I use AI? Yes, I do. Do you want me to use AI? You certainly do, because I can't put out the volume of high quality stuff with formatting controls and controls to make sure that I don't, say, contradict myself and stuff, which, it happens with humans who are just speaking freely, and all that. So, yeah, you want me to use AI for that reason. And yes, will a lot of my stuff look the same? Yeah, you'll see formats that look very similar. You'll see similar phrasing coming out of it because it's coming out of my engine, right? So of course it's going to. It's my voice speaking, at least in the way I programmed the data. So yes, you want me to use AI. And what's always interesting is that for these trolls who seem to think I don't know what I'm doing, I've invited every single one of them to debate me live. Now, I'll keep it friendly, but I've invited all of them to debate me live. Tell me where I'm wrong, and I may be, I don't know. Tell me your evidence. Tell me how it fits, and let's share that information out so that people can make their own decision. I'm not telling you that everything I'm telling you is 100% accurate gospel truth. I'm telling you, to the best of my knowledge, it is what I think is the truth you need to have, you should have. But I want you to be able to make your own decisions. But none of them has ever taken me up on that. They prefer just to sit back and troll. And that's what internet trolls do. Okay? So thank you very much, everybody. Hope you like this. If you're a content creator and you want to know how I'm doing this and can I help you do the same for your own content, yes, I can. There are tools I have access to that you might have to pay for. Some you don't. And I'll be more than happy to show you them. Okay? So let me know. Thank you very much.